Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I am going to share with you a quick practice that I think is perfect for sort of that 2 p.m.-ish slump that you might feel. So if you're anything like me, it's like you eat lunch and then you start getting drowsy. And by 2 p.m., you just kind of want to crawl under your desk if you're in an office, or if you're working from home, you actually crawl into bed. And at least from an Ayurvedic perspective, so Ayurveda being the sister science of yoga that's all about our physical well-being, that's not a good idea. So, we want to take it easy. It doesn't mean that, when you're feeling drowsy, you need to be doing some big power flow class, but we do want to keep things moving and digesting and not laying down. So this is a really great alternative to your fourth or fifth cup of coffee. And it's also a great alternative to straight up giving up for the day. So about 15 or so minutes, hopefully get you reconnected with your breath, little gentle movement, get things going so you can keep on going. Okay, so with that, we're going to start in a comfortable seat. Don't really need that many props, but of course, if you'd like to have some blocks, always great. A blanket, like if you're at home and you have all your stuff, just bring it all. Yeah, and I'll meet you on the mat. Okay, so taking a comfortable seat here, and that might mean ankles crossed. It might mean one ankle in front of the other. Whatever feels comfortable. You can also lift the hips up on blocks or your blanket, and then let the hands just rest onto your knees, your thighs. Let the elbows become nice and heavy here, gently allowing the shoulders to glide down the sides of the body. Lifting up nice and tall through the crown of the head and softening your face. And starting with some nice and smooth breaths here. So in through the nose and out through the nose. And see if you can even them out. So the length of the inhale, you match with the length of the exhale. Little by little, allowing your focus to turn inward. So all you can really be aware of in your mind's eye is this path of the breath in and out. One more breath, just like that. Good, and then dropping your chin back down towards your chest, keeping the length of your spine. Rolling the right ear to the right shoulder and bringing it back down. We'll try that to the other side, and we'll do that back and forth, so right and left. And then we'll stick to the right and hold here. Good. Maybe taking that left arm behind your back. And also an option to take that right hand right above the left ear, just adding a tiny bit more pressure. Good. And then melting that right hand all the way down to the mat. Big reach up and over with your left. Coming back to center. Good. Other side. So dropping your chin back down. Roll left ear to left shoulder. Maybe the right hand reaches behind the back. And you could also use that left hand over the right ear just to really emphasize that stretch in the whole right side of the neck. Good. And then melting down towards your left, Sweep the right arm up and over. Big reach, big stretch. And then come back to center. Good. And from here, we're going to open the right leg out to the right in a diagonal. Keep that left heel hugged in. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, very gently move your way forward, trying to keep a nice long spine. Walking those hands back, bending your right knee so that the foot goes behind you here, creating that letter Z shape with the legs. And we're going to twist towards the left. Notice that the right sit bone is going to lift. So we're going to twist, take your right hand to your left knee and twist. Good. And slowly come back to center. Stretch your legs out long in front of you. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle through the knees. And let's take this on the other side. So draw your your right heel in. Take your left leg out in a diagonal that feels comfortable for you. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, walk those hands forward, nice long spine. Good. Slowly walking yourself back up, bending your left knee back, and then taking your twist. Good. Coming back to center just for a moment and then transitioning to your tabletop. So make your way there. Open those fingers nice and wide. Good. Stacking the hips over the knees, curling the toes under, waking up the feet a little bit more. And then starting with some nice easy cat cow. So dipping the belly, lifting the heart, and then round. As much movement as you can through the spine. Let's take 3 more of these. Inhale, lifting through the heart. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, rounding. Good. Coming back to center here, opening the knees nice and wide, sinking back to a child's pose. So dropping the hips back towards the heels, reaching your hands forward, resting your forehead on the mat. Walk your hands to the right. Couple breaths here, opening up through that left side of the ribs. Coming back to center and taking it the opposite direction. Good. Then walking your hands back to center, making your way back to your tabletop and eventually a downward facing dog. So rooting down through the hands, lifting those hips up and back, keeping the bend in both knees, and then maybe accentuating one more than the other, alternating. So pedaling out through the feet. Pausing here, peek forward, start taking Small steps all the way to the top of your mat. Deeply bend your knees here as you connect belly to thighs and you take your forward fold. Slowly begin to lift back up. Reaching the arms all the way up overhead. Good. And then taking hold of that left wrist, bending towards your right. Back to center, opposite direction. Back to center, hands to heart. And here I'm actually going to ask you to take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And we're going to just hold here in our mountain pose. Feeling that breath moving within your body. Maybe feeling a sense of centering and grounding with each exhale. Bringing new energy to carry you through the rest of your day with the inhale. One more breath here. Good. Releasing the hands down. They can come down by the sides or to your hips. We're going to shift the weight over towards your left foot and take the right toe mounts down onto the mat. So I'm just lifting the heel and then taking some circles here. So working through that ankle. Opposite direction. And then stepping the right foot back so that the top, the shoelace side of your foot gets a nice stretch here. Good. And then step it forward. We'll take that on the other side. So switching the weight onto your right foot, picking up the left heel and just going around in circles. And opposite direction. Good. And then step it back with your left foot. So again, top of the left foot presses down. Left foot comes forward. Take a nice deep breath in. This time on the exhale, fold forward. So tracing the midline of the body all the way down. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Good. This time we're going to bring the hips all the way down and we're going to lower onto our backs. So if you've got a block, it actually would be nice to have one. So go ahead and grab it if you have it. And then coming on to your back here, we're going to draw the right knee in towards you. Interlace your hands around the shin bone and extend through the left. So this pose really healthy for digestion. So we're just helping things along. Good. Other side. So we're going to switch. We're going to bring that left knee in and extend the right leg out long. Now bring your right knee in towards you as well. Hug both knees in, rock side to side. And place your feet back on the mat. So here we're going to lift the hips and place a block underneath the sacrum if you've got one. If not, you can just keep your hips low, low back relaxing on the mat. Taking the opportunity here to check in with your body. Notice where else you might be holding tension. And if you'd like, you can start taking your legs up the wall here. So just staying on the block if you've got one and reaching your legs up. You can have a little bend in the knees. As you can see in my legs, I'm keeping them bent. And you can find stillness or kind of wiggle around through the feet just to release anything that might be stuck there, since we spend most of our times upright. And then slowly begin to bend those knees, bring your feet back down. We're going to lift, take it down to the mat, but send the hips all the way to the right here. So we're going to go into our banana pose. So hips are to the right, legs are extended out long towards the left. Now you're not lifting the right hip, you're staying as low as you can so that you feel that letter C shape through the right body. And your arms can extend up overhead and you start moving the upper body also towards your left. Making your way back to center, finding that neutral position, and then bending your knees to pick up your hips and place them a little more towards the left. And so the same pose, opposite side, extending those legs out long towards the bottom right corner of the mat. And then coming back to center, bending those knees one more time, maybe giving yourself another squeeze, and then setting up for Shavasana. So the first option is just a traditional Shavasana where you extend the legs out long. You're kind of already there, nice and easy. If you'd like something else, it does require a tiny bit more effort to get into, but then it can be so delightful. If you have blocks, you're going to use 2 of them. And we're going to set up for our supported fish pose, which is one of my favorites. So you're going to take one block on the medium setting for your head and one on the flattest setting. It can be perpendicular or kind of a brick, whichever one you prefer, but it's on the flattest setting. And you want to make sure that this block lands in your upper back, not your low back. So as you start lowering down, make sure again that that lower block kind of lifts you up in the heart, and then use your hands to adjust the higher block. And then extend the legs out long and open the toes, roll them out. Soften through the face, soften through the heart, soften through the belly. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out of this shape and you're lifted on props, just be extra mindful as you roll onto your right or left side. Just taking another moment here before we sit up. And then slowly, with as little effort as possible, making your way back to a comfortable seat. From here again, bringing one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Taking 3 more breaths together. Thank you all so much for practicing with me, and also thanking yourself, or take this moment to thank yourself for practicing instead of, like I said, reaching for that extra cup of coffee or falling asleep. Anyway, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you on your mat soon. Namaste. And for the record, if you still need that cup of coffee, it's totally